University of Ghana has defended the upward adjustment in its academic user fees for the ensuing academic year beginning January 2023. This comes on the back of agitations by some students that the margin of increase is unbearable as it way beyond the 15% approval given by Parliament through the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, GTEC. Management of the Ghana school, however, say that fees charged for the 2023 or 2022-2023 academic year are legal and duly based on approved fee levels as authorized by Parliament. Here are excerpts of the statement that are on your screen as of now. Though, according to the adjustment in academic facilities of fees at the University of Ghana, the first one says, though the gazetted approved fees for the 2019-2020 academic year were found to be higher than what the university had earlier requested students to pay for the academic year, university management decided to suspend the implementation of the new fees until the 2020-2021 academic year. This was to spare students from a fee increase in the middle of the 2019 and 2020 academic year. With the outbreak of COVID-19 in March 2020, coupled with its associated challenges, management accepted a plea from the student leadership, SRC and GRASAC to further suspend the implementation of the parliamentary approved and gazetted fees until the 2021-2022 academic year. So in effect, therefore, the University of Ghana charged students subsidized fees for the years ahead, including rather than the approved fees by Parliament, following all the necessary internal consultations and approval by the University Council. On 13th December 2022, the university announced that due to the increasing cost of operations, it had become necessary for the university to implement the 2019-2020 approved fee. The statement also provisional and that amount, the statement also noted that the fee schedules published at the time were provisional and that the amount to be paid would be updated once fees for the 2022-2023 academic year were approved by Parliament. On the 21st December 2022, the university received a letter from the GTEC Data System December 2022 communication that Parliament had approved an upward review of academic fees by 15% of the last approved rate. In line with this, the University of Ghana has adjusted fees for the 2022-2023 academic year upwards by 15% based on the gazetted approved fees for the year under review. Management therefore assures students, parents and all stakeholders that fees charged for the 2022-2023 academic year are legal and duly based on approval fee levels as authorized by the Parliament of Ghana. Now, we are joined in studio by the President of the National Union of Ghana Students, Dennis Appiah-Labi, to give us more insight on what he believes is the way to go. Now, welcome and good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
Great. You've had a statement released by the University of Ghana Authority Management in regards to the 15% increment, justifying why the increment, because they delayed in doing that earlier, but this time, all things looking the same, they prefer to go upwards. What is your assessment of that?
Thank you very much. I think that we had decided to tone down on communicating or speaking on this particular matter, considering that we met the minister on Friday, who assured us that he's not going to allow such charges which are not in tandem with the approval given by Parliament to stay. But unfortunately for us, from yesterday, we've seen the communication by the University of Ghana and the kind of justification they want to give to the illegality. First of all, let's place this on record that GTEC's communication, or what GTEC said, is that fees must be adjusted based on the 2021-2022 fees charged. What is the 2021-2022 fees charged? It is definitely not the 2019 fees charged. This is very simple. The justifications falls flat in the face of law. That the law says that you can charge based on a certain quoted year. then you say no, you're going to charge based on another year. That is problematic. And the reason why it is more problematic is that it is Parliament that sets the law. If you have any grounds or reason to circumvent or do otherwise, all you need to do is follow due process. Go back to Parliament and tell Parliament that I have constraints. These are my constraints. You do not unilaterally, as an administrative body set by law, ought to follow law. You decide to unilaterally circumvent, set the law aside, and then justify it on a certain grounds that in 2019 you did not increase fees, so we should allow you use that as a justification. Now mind you, imagine any of the universities also comes up and say that in 1972 I did not increase fees, I am going to add that one before I increase it. Then the next one will tell you 1988 I did not increase fees, so allow me. This is what we are faced with. That is why there is a law to govern the actions of administrative bodies. If laws are laid down, administrative bodies do not have the unilateral right to circumvent or set aside the laws and do what they believe would be helpful to their institution, and do what and then met onto students such illegalities of a charges.
If you look at a statement released by the university, you could see that they said earlier in 2020-2021, the same student body pleaded with them with regards to the increment which they held back. But due to current circumstances, that's why they're reviewing. Are you saying that they don't consult your establishment in terms of deciding the approach in handling?
First of all, there is a difference between briefing or informing somebody and consulting the person. These are two different things. If you want to consult somebody,
you made aware,
you take input. You do not just call them and inform them. Yesterday, students were called. They were informed that the fees will not be touched today nor tomorrow, against all resistance by the student front. That's aside. Let's look at the matter. What is important at this point is the substance and the matter. The substance of the matter one falls flat. Let me prove to you again. Beyond going against the law, it goes against every logic. Between 2019 and this year, which one have students been subjected to a lot of harsh economic conditions? Definitely this year. So if there is any year to be considerate,
last year or this year?
2019 and last year, sorry. Don't you think that it is 2022 that deserves some sort of considerations? That is the first one. Two, let me prove to you again why the logic is quite a weak logic. Why is it a weak logic? 2019-2020 students have graduated. Does that mean that because they are not there, the current students who are not in school as of that time are going to carry their burden?
So now with the 15%, what is your next line of action going to be?
I think that we have been straight. We've said that the laws must be followed. We want to appreciate the Minister, JTech, and the Director for Tertiary Education for committing to ensure that the process comes through and the legal fees are duly charged students. Because you see, aside this excuse, you have traditional halls charging 75% increment. Would that one also come with that excuse? There are so many loopholes in the legal argument, and by extension some other argument. What we are saying is that we are giving the room for the minister to do what the minister has promised to do. Okay. We would relax and allow the minister. If at a point in time we realize that we are still not getting results, considering the time exigencies we find out something, we have said that we are within our constitutional right to pursue all the options that are on the table for us. But I'm trusting the JTech, Professor Salifu and Dr. Ahmed, that we won't get to the point where students explore other means other than boardroom negotiations.
Definitely. We'll follow up on that.
Thank you very much for being with us on this matter.
Great. Now, surely we'll be speaking to Dennis Opiolabi on the issue regards to increment of academic facility fee by some universities in the country.